guys, happy Taco Tuesday. Welcome on into Let's Bet It. Lauren Jabbar here with Mark Zinno, Alex Glaze. Guys, happy Tuesday. I know I was supposed to be on the show yesterday. We had a little technical difficulties where you wake up on a Monday and your computer doesn't turn on, and then you got to run to the Apple store. It was a whole technological fiasco. Alex, thanks for holding down the fort. How did it go?
Anytime. I mean, it was a solid show. Of course,
Good.
Your presence was missed,
Thank you.
But, Jared and I held it down for you yesterday.
Yeah, Zinno, how are you doing after, round one, round two this weekend? And how are you sitting in our
Oh, gosh.
March Madness?
Do we have to bring this up? Do we have to talk
Yes,
about
well, I'm above Alex Glaze, which is all that matters, because if you don't win, at least you can talk crap to the guy who talks more crap than anybody here. But one, I think I do owe you a little bit of a public apology
What'd you do?
About your Michigan Wolverines. So I'll say you were right. I was wrong. You're the best. I'm the worst. You're good looking. I'm not very attractive in reference to the Michigan Wolverines, not only getting past the first round, but getting past the Tennessee Volunteers into the second round, now playing in the Sweet 16 and knocking out one of my Final Four teams in the Tennessee Volunteers. So congratulations to your Michigan Wolverines. I'm not going to say anything more bad about the Blue. I'll just keep my mouth shut and then tap dance all over your face when they finally lose, if they ever lose again.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm in between a rock and a hard place right now because I had Michigan losing in the round of 32, actually, to Tennessee in my bracket.
Yeah.
But my heart wanted them to win. So now I'm like, ooh, do I keep wanting them to win? Do I care more about my team or do I care more about my bracket? Because right now, boys, guess who's sitting in the top spot right now in our pool?
You see all those UK signs over there of everybody who picked Kentucky to win the thing that has now gone home thanks to St. Peter's? So
that's me. That's me.
Yeah. So you hate to see it. You really do. But you know what? We got more March Madness this weekend. We're going to break it down. We're actually talking a little bit about that in the show today. We have college basketball recap and outlook, NBA morning radar, NHL, a lot of games on the slate tonight. We're going to get into all of it. But first of all, before we do, let's talk a little NFL news because I feel like every day something's going on, right? So Matt Ryan officially leaving the great state of ATL, going up to the Colts. What are your thoughts on Mr. Ryan Zinno leaving Atlanta?
I think I'm the only person in Atlanta who is breathing a sigh of relief.
You like Marcus Mariota?
No, it's not it. Look, I have been
about that.
It's not about that. I have been screaming for 2 years for them to hit a reset button and move on. Like, the way I envision this whole thing with Matt Ryan, it has nothing to do with the level of quarterback he is, the level of player that he is, or even the individual he is. But this was a relationship where the guy and the girl were never going to get married. And you knew it. They were just together because it was comfortable. It was never going to get any better. It was never going to get any worse. It was just a relationship that didn't end in happiness. End it and move on. And that's what needed to happen. I am breathing a sigh of relief for Falcons fans. And they don't realize it now because you're in hurt and you're in pain when a relationship like that forever breaks up. Yes, it hurts. But guess what? In a couple of years, you're going to realize we are in so much of a better situation. I'm so much happier. That was a dead relationship. It was never going to last. You're better off without me. I'm better off without you. And I am breathing a sigh of relief that finally this relationship is over.
Alex, your thoughts, because obviously you were here for 4 years covering that team. Your thoughts on him leaving?
I mean, it's about 2 years too late. Think about this, remember when we were talking about that draft, they could have drafted Justin Fields. I mean, I hate to keep bringing that up, but I just really think that drafting Kyle Pitts in that spot was the biggest mistake that they could have made because there's no guarantee that you will have a chance to, one, be picking in that position again. You have a chance to pick a guy, a quarterback, a franchise quarterback like Justin Fields again. I mean, so I think from that perspective, it's about time they moved on from Matt, but it's 2 years too late by my estimation. But for Matt, I think he's going into a great situation in Indianapolis because they're maybe a quarterback away. So it works out for Matt. The Falcons, Kyle Pitts the other day tweeted that it's getting scary in Atlanta. Yeah, it's scary because they don't have any quarterback. They don't have any receivers. They don't have any they have nothing. They have nothing in Atlanta. So the Falcons.
No, they got Kyle Pitts, right? That's what they want.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, they have Kyle Pitts, great, and they have no O-line, and they have Marcus Mariota playing quarterback, and no receivers. So the Falcons are going to be pathetic this year.
So Yeah. Some teams that are not pathetic right now, though. Let's head into some college basketball. Just a quick overview. Obviously, you guys broke it down yesterday on the show. Alex and Jared did. Is Coach K, guys, going to win the championship on his retirement tour this year, Zeno?
How about no? No. Duke's defense is extremely problematic.
Yeah.
Again, they gave up 80 points. They've been giving up 80, save the Cal State Fullerton game in round one. They've given up 80 points in their last 11 games on average. That is a problem. Eventually, it's going to come back to bite them in the butt when Paolo Banchero and company are not making enough shots like they were in the ACC final against Virginia Tech. Like, that's the game that's going to pop up here where they're not shooting 45, 48% from the field, and they're going to end up losing because their defense can't stop anybody.
Yeah, Alex, your thoughts?
I agree with Zeno. It's not like Michigan State is a great offensive team. They just haven't faced a team that can give them trouble yet. And I think that Gonzaga obviously is the team that that's gonna beat them and end up in the Final Four, which we'll talk about later. But I don't think Duke is gonna have any trouble. I'm trying to pull up the bracket right now because there's so many games, too many teams going on my mind right now. But
to your point about Michigan State, like Michigan State had to shoot 55% from three to even be in that game. To even be in that game. Like, you can't allow a team to shoot 55% from three on a routine basis. So Duke's, they are in trouble. Texas Tech is going to lock them down in this game, and they are not going to make a lot of shots. Go ahead.
Texas Tech defensively can give Duke some trouble because they're also long and big, but offensively, I'm not sure what Texas Tech can offer. But that's, they've looked great offensively the past couple games, though. So who knows which team is going to show up. But that's kind of been the theme of this tournament, I feel like. Like UNC, all season long, what's been the problem with them? Their defense. Now, all of a sudden, they play great defense against Baylor. So it's like these teams are just showing in the tournament things that we haven't seen all season long. So it's really exciting.
Well, and it goes back to the old adage about making shots. If you, I know it sounds very, elementary to say. If you make shots in the tournament, you're going to win a lot of games. That's what UNC has been doing. That's what a bunch of teams have been doing, making shots at an abnormal pace, and so they're taking advantage.
I totally agree with you guys. Let's get into who we think is going to be in the Final Four, because obviously someone who's sitting at the top of the bracket should know best when 3 of their 4 teams are still in the tournament right now.
Well, give us your teams then. Give us your teams, yeah.
So the 3 teams that I still have in right now: Arizona, Gonzaga, Kansas, right? The only team that's not in the Final Four that I have in my bracket is Kentucky. Obviously, that ruined a lot of people's brackets. But I'm rewriting it, baby. I like Purdue at this point. They have the easiest, I guess, route, in my opinion, to get to the Final Four. And Alex, it seems like you agree with me. You have the same 4 teams when you're rewriting your Final Four.
Yeah, those are the 4 teams I have as well.
Who do you actually have right now in your Final Four in your bracket?
No. My bracket, listen, on Thursday, all of the bracket apps were deleted off my phone. I didn't do a paper bracket this year, save the trees. But all the apps were deleted off my phone. I have not looked. It didn't matter. Once Kentucky lost, I was just so turned off from the whole tournament that I just didn't.
I mean, you're such that guy, dude.
He's that guy.
Because if you were in first place, we would never hear the end of it.
Exactly. I mean,
Lord.
I mean, yes, that's exactly how it goes,
man.
Hilarious.
And now when people chirp me, I'm like, "Oh, you're still watching the tournament?"
Oh, okay, all right. That's
this is the Final Four.
That.
Oh, God.
Who do you have in your rewrite up?
All right, well, Purdue is what I ended up penciling. I really went back and forth the most between UCLA and Purdue because UCLA's defense has been absolutely phenomenal for the first 2 rounds of this tournament. But I just like the way Purdue's offense has played. And again, I question whether UCLA can slow down UNC enough. And I'm thinking if it's Purdue and UNC for a chance to go to the Final Four, I will trust Purdue over that UNC team. Texas Tech for me is money. They're in my actual bracket from that region. That is a team that is just playing super well right now. Mark Adams is going to be Coach of the Year. Their defense is so good. Yes, Glaze, some games offensively, they don't look as good, and they didn't look great offensively against Notre Dame. But you know what? They make shots down the stretch when they need to, and I think they're experienced enough to be able to get through. I'm taking Houston over Arizona. Houston has proven itself to be the most complete team in this tournament on both ends of the floor through the first 2 games. I did not like the way Arizona allowed a TCU team, which I told you guys was going to make a lot of noise in this tournament, but a TCU team to hang around. Arizona should have left that team in the dust. They weren't able to do it. And then, of course, I'm going with the Providence Friars because I wish Jared was here so I could sort of just rub it in his face a little bit about how much you wanted to fade the Providence Friars because they're the luckiest team in America. No, they're good. They're very good defensively. And every close game they play in, that's all I want. Keep giving them short numbers as a favorite. Keep making them bigger dogs than they should be against teams. I'm going to keep backing them and ride that wave until it crashes. I'm backing the Friars against Kansas, and I think they can win the game outright. I'll put a money line sprinkle on them. I got Providence going
That's
to the
big.
finals.
Can we talk about something real quick?
Yeah.
A game that I feel like is on nobody's radar, but like I'm really interested in. The St. Peter's Purdue game.
Honestly, I'm rooting for St. Peter's to win the whole thing. I want my black bracket to blow up. Just
St. Peter's has the best cover rate of any team left in the tournament.
Okay.
I think it's almost at 70%. 12.5 points. Can I convince either of you to take 12.5 points with St. Peter's?
I will.
I think I'm going to.
I mean,
you won't. You won't, Zeno. You won't.
Here's the don't you play that game with me? Don't you?
I know he's.
Well, I mean, you won't. So I mean, you won't.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Jabbar to go. Zeno, why don't you just be a real man and take St. Peter's?
Yeah, like stop being be a real man, Zeno. Come on.
But here's the thing about St. Peter's, right? Anytime you get a 15 seed to move on, I don't want to take anything away from St. Peter's, but there is a certain amount of luck that factors into this because you need multiple things to go wrong for the higher seeded team. I mean, again, take Kentucky, right? The game against Kentucky, it wasn't that Kentucky couldn't score in that game against a really good St. Peter's defense. They gave up 75 points to a team that only averages 63 a game when Kentucky only gives up 64 a game.
Yeah, you know what I like, though? Zeno, you know what I like is St. Peter's literally is so scrappy and they don't stop. Even if they miss shots offensively, they're getting back in transition and they're playing tough defense. They're forcing teams into tough shots. Like they're giving it 120%.
They're bullies.
Possession. I like that.
I mean, in the Murray State game, Murray State shoots 47% on average. They shot 34 in that game. Like you need
things
because of St. Peter's defense.
Murray State.
Yes,
Peter's defense. Yeah,
there's a big thing between them shooting from 47 to like 41, 42, and then 34. Like it's a huge drop off. You just need something really out of the ordinary to happen. Now, the problem is Purdue's size more than anything. And are you really going to bet against Jaden Ivey and Zach Edey at this point?
No, they're long. Yeah, they're a long team.
I'm not betting against Jaden Ivey. I would bet against Zach Edey, though.
Yeah, well, he's just a big enough guy in the middle to be a nuisance.
Yeah. Okay, let's move into some hockey because trade deadline obviously done yesterday. And I know our producer Jack really wanted to put this in there. Who was the biggest winner in trade deadline day? Obviously, I have my opinions on this. I'll let you guys chat about it first. Zeno, who do you think won the trade deadline? Because I have two teams in mind that I think do.
As much as it pains me, because they're the team that I grew up hating as a child, the New York Rangers getting Andrew Kopp from the Winnipeg Jets.
Who is also one of my best friends. I grew up with him.
Really?
Great dude. Yeah.
Wow.
I was texting him all day yesterday. And we've been texting like all week about, where he thinks he's going to end up. He goes, I know I'm getting traded. I just don't necessarily know where. Like, these are the teams we're thinking. But I'm really excited because him and Jacob Trouba actually grew up together too. And they're like best friends from childhood. So them being able to be back on the same team after playing for the Winnipeg Jets, it's really good for them.
Well, outside of being great friends with you, and that makes him automatically a wonderful person. He's a great two-way forward who's actually better on defense than he is offensively. Look, he's not a great goal scorer and a great finisher, but what he is really good at is setting up the rest of his teammates. He's going to provide the Rangers with a lot of extra added push on special teams, both the power play and the penalty
kill especially.
Yeah, I mean, he is he's that kind of player. I know that the Rangers already have a good amount of finishers, so I think he's going to be a great compliment to them. Now, in the big picture, if the Rangers can actually extend him and re-sign him because he's a pending free agent this year, if they can actually re-sign him, give him what they had to give up for him, which was a lot, essentially could turn into a first-round pick if the Rangers get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They did give up a lot to get him, but this could be the guy that I think puts them over the top. They have the goaltending and the defense. Another two-way player in Andrew Kopp could really be a huge push for the Blue Shirts.
Yeah, and the Rangers also added Justin Braun and Tyler Mott from Vancouver. Tyler Mott actually played at Michigan too with Jacob, with Andrew, so they already have a little chemistry brewing there. Alex, what are your thoughts just on trade deadline day and kind of who won, I guess, that competition?
I mean, Zeno's talking big picture, and I'm liking what he's talking about the future. I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about right now, this year. Which team made the biggest difference to make a push this year? It's got to be our Ice Cats, right? It's got to be our Ice Cats. And they signed Claude Giroux, Ben Sherratt. I mean, they mortgaged the future away. I think they don't have a first-round pick now until 2025, but they're in win-now mode, and I respect it. They have the second-best odds. We've been talking about Florida all year long. I think they got a lot better yesterday, and we're going to see how things shake out. I already know which team you're going to talk about. I already know
Me?
I already know which
Well,
team
I
you're
think
going
the
to bring up.
Rangers won it like hands down. They really did. I think they made the best moves. And honestly, it kind of like makes me want to put a futures bet on them just to like sprinkle it because they made moves that could really help improve them for Stanley Cup run. The team that they'll have to get past, I think, is going to be the Carolina Hurricanes, who are exceptionally strong defensively. But the other team, obviously, Colorado Avalanche, right? Like they already have all of the pieces that they needed to win a cup, and they just added a little bit more depth in both Josh Mason and Nico Sturm. And then on top of that, they had a guy like Andrew Coliano, who's going to be great for the PK. And then they had a guy like Arturi Lehkonen. So it's pieces that they're adding that's going to help them in the cup run. They're still the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. They just added even more depth. Obviously, they lost Tyson Jost, who's a great locker room guy, one of the hardest working guys on the team, to the Wild. They traded him away. So that's kind of a blow. That was the only starter that they officially like got rid of. But I just think that Joe Sakic just made some really good depth moves for them to be able to make a big run at the Stanley Cup this year. If they can't get past the second round, it's going to be a really, really big letdown because they haven't gotten past the second round the last 3 years. So it's going to be interesting to see, what kind of happens here down the stretch. Is there any team right now, Alex, that you would place a futures bet on now that the deadline is over?
No team that we haven't already talked about. I mean, we talked about the Panthers, we talked about the Flames. I mean, I think those are two teams that I would play right now. I mean,
yeah,
I know you're high on the Avs, but
obviously,
I don't know if I can get there with you. But I know Jared and I are both on the Flames. We're really high on the Flames, but I think I got to ride
Flames right now. Pun intended. Zeno, who do you have a futures bet on right now, or is there a team that you would put a futures bet on now that the trade deadline's over?
Now that the trade deadline is over, and again, their odds didn't move that much, if at all. But I'm still going to back and roll your eyes right now. Get ready as they hit the back of your head. The Toronto Maple Leafs. They get Mark Giordano to the bolster the blue line here at the trade deadline. Didn't address the goaltending like they had wanted to, but not because of lack of trying. I just love this team this year and the way they're playing. Their offense is off the charts good. And I know in the NHL playoffs, a hot goaltender can ruin everything for whatever offensive team that is out there. But in a year where I've seen, the Atlanta Braves win a World Series for the first time in nearly 30 years and the Georgia Bulldogs win a national championship in the first time in over 40 years, why not the Maple Leafs in over 60 years? Why not them? So I like them.
It's always been them. It's always been them.
It's always been them. Plus 600 to win the East, plus 1,200 to win the Cup altogether. I'm still back in Toronto.
A lot of games going on tonight in the NHL on the ice. We're all three on different games. Alex, I'll let you go first with your Jets through money line.
Yeah, I like the Jets tonight against the Knights on the three-way money line. Vegas on a back-to-back. This feels like a low-hanging fruit. It's one of those bets that makes me feel like it's too easy, and maybe it is. You know what I mean? When it just feels like this is too easy.
Yeah.
Maybe it is, but I feel like it's worth a stab at plus money on the three-way money line here. Vegas is just really banged up. And again, on the second night of a back-to-back, dealing with a team that, I think, when they played this year, the Jets have been able to exploit mismatches on both ends of the ice. And I just see this kind of going the way business as usual for Winnipeg. They've won 4 straight, and I think they can keep it rolling tonight.
Yeah. Zeno, what do you think about your Rangers tonight?
Well, they're not my Rangers. They're a good team to bet on because they're very, very.
No, there's Zeno's Rangers. He's a closet Rangers guy.
There's Zeno's Rangers. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a Rangers sweater just sitting in his closet right now.
I can't tell you the amount of Islanders sweaters I have I even have an Islanders ugly Christmas sweater in my closet. So no, definitely not. But when I bet with my wallet, not with my heart. So I'm going to take the Rangers Devils under 6 tonight. Obviously, Igor Shesterkin, the eventual Vezina winner. He is the guy that I'm really backing tonight. The last time these two teams played, they only scored 4 goals. It's the Devils offense that really is sort of inept. And I know they're a great first period over team. And trust me, everybody, I looked at every game tonight for a first period over. There was not one that really jumped off the page at me.
And he's only giving you the best of the best, people.
That's right. I'm not going to force it. If it's not there, don't force it, right? That's when you get into bad bets. But this is a spot here tonight where the Rangers, they've had rest. So have the Devils. So, I think this is a spot where the defense will shine. Both of these teams only score 3 goals a game. In fact, the Devils actually average less than 3 goals a game. I think Shesterkin limits them to just 2. Rangers probably only get to 3, hopefully not to 4. But given the fact that I can get a push out of this whole thing, I'll take the under 6 tonight.
I like it. I actually do, and I might take that. I'm on an under as well. Right now with the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Carolina Hurricanes, and these are two really, really strong defensive teams. So I'll give out my under pick. I'm on two bets in this game. One of them is my under pick. One of them is my best bet. So I'm gonna just talk about my best bet now. I have to go. I'm in New York, and so we have to get shoot around going in at MSG. So I have to head out after this. I'll let you guys take over for NBA because you guys have some great NBA picks, but my NHL picks. So under 6, Carolina Hurricanes, the best defensive team in the league right now. I mean, they're only allowing 2.37 goals per game. That's unreal. Then you look at the Lightning, and yeah, they're scoring a lot, but defensively, they've been pretty solid this season too. They're only allowing 2.37 goals per game. And I looked at the last 3 games. They've only allowed 4 goals total. I think this is going to be a goaltender battle of a game. So if you're only allowing 4 goals over the last 3 games, that's averaging like 1.33 goals per game. And then the Hurricanes have only been allowing 2.37 goals per game. Last time I checked, if you add those together, that's about 3.6 goals per game. And that's under 6. Yes, my math skills are that strong. Okay, the other bet that I'm making tonight on that same game, this is basically a pick 'em. Honestly, it's in Carolina. So it's a home game for the Hurricanes, but I really like Tampa Bay money line in this one, plus 100. If you want a little extra juice, or a little extra value, get the Tampa Bay 3-way money line, the Lightning 3-way money line. I'm not sure exactly the value of it, but it would be a little bit higher, probably closer to like plus 150, plus 160. But again, the Lightning, I mean, both of these teams right now looking like Stanley Cup contenders. The Lightning, they're obviously averaging like 3.33 goals per game. But like I was saying, they've only allowed 4 goals in their last 3 games. And you look at Andrei Vasilevsky and what he's been doing this season for them. He has a 919 save percentage, only allowing 2.36 goals against. It's just like, he's just been really, really solid for them all season long, and he's kept them in a lot of these games. Then you look at the Hurricanes, #1 defensive team in the entire NHL, which is pretty tough to do. Their defense is just solid. They defend as a 5-man unit. Their goaltending in Anderson has been really, really good too. And the Canes, they want to bounce back on home ice, but I just don't think that it's going to happen. I think the Lightning have figured it out on the defensive end. Carolina also figured it out. It's going to be a low-scoring game, but the Lightning are just going to do just enough to squeak by. This is more of like a gut feeling for me because both teams are good defensively. The Lightning are a little bit better offensively. I think they're going to find a way to get pucks past Anderson and just use that momentum on the road to be able to get this done. So Tampa Bay Lightning 3-way money line is my best bet of the day at plus 100. And then also I like the under 6 in this spot. So lock it in, baby. A lot of NHL bets today, a lot of NHL games going on, but I'm looking forward to it. Alex, I'll let you take over for NBA.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here.
I know. I'm leaving. I swear. I'm going. Actually, can I stay in for this first question? Because I really want to talk about this. Just like the Raptors, they're producing right now, late in the season. I just want to ask you guys both this question. If the playoffs were today and they face the Milwaukee Bucks, would they have a chance, Zeno?
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the thing is, Milwaukee is just too deep. And I know Toronto's got a ton of experience, and they're scrappy, and they've managed to, and they're better on the road sometimes than they are at home this year, at least from a cover standpoint. But Milwaukee is just too deep. They've got way too much talent. I kind of like what Toronto has done. They're probably going to catch Cleveland and get out of that play-in game. Because I think Cleveland is fading, but against Milwaukee, I think it's a bad matchup. You put them against Boston, maybe even against Miami. If they can get to 5 and Chicago, against Chicago, I'd take Toronto. It really kind of depends on the first round matchup. But if it's Milwaukee or it's Philadelphia, I'd probably take Milwaukee and Philadelphia versus Toronto.
Alex, are you on the same page there?
I'm on the same page. Everything Zeno just said, just too deep.
Ditto.
Literally ditto. Too much, too
ditto.
Deep. No.
Okay, you guys, I'm peacing out.
Peace.
See you tomorrow on the show. Alex, you take over. Here is me passing the torch to you.
All right, I'll take it.
There you go, my friend. Thank you. Yeah.
Later, J-Bar.
All right. Well, she's going to shoot around. So, I mean, we might as well just naturally talk about the game that we're both on in different ways here. This Hawks-Knicks game tonight. Trae Young's return to Madison Square Garden. I think we know the chance that Trae's going to get tonight. And I was looking at Trae's points props, 27.5. I believe it was slightly juiced, a little juiced.
Yep.
What are you? Do you have some thoughts on that? Or are you looking at the game line? Like I know we were talking about Trey.
I wrote this game up for the Pickswise website, and I did take the Hawks -1, given where they are. Look, the Hawks have been bad as of late against the number 2 and 8 over their last 10 games against the spread. They're bad on the road, 10 and 24 against the number this year. However, it's a short number. I think the Hawks are feeling a little bit of pressure right now to go out and win a game. And yes, John Collins is out again. And this is continuing to be problematic for this team when John Collins is not in the lineup. Their offense doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. The only time it ever does is when Trey Young goes off for 35, 38, 40 points, whatever it is. And tonight kind of feels like maybe one of those nights where he's not going to pass the ball all that much, where it's going to be him doing most of the work. So I'm going to trust the Hawks tonight. I on the Pickswise website, I told you I gave the Hawks out -1 for a 2-star play. And the Knicks defense, it's weird, Glaze, because statistically all year long, they've been very good. They went through this stretch the last month where they were giving up like 111, 112 points per game. Over the last 10, they're back down to giving up like 105 points per game. So they've sort of tightened back up a little bit and figured they're trying to climb back into this thing and get to the 10 seed. I don't think they have enough games left to do it. But, they have been a little bit strong as of late. But this is Trey versus the world tonight at the Garden.
I agree on the national stage as well. On the other side, a guy I'm looking at Evan Fournier. We'll talk about those guys because we got plays of the days coming up, so we'll get into that. But before we do, they got anything on the website? 3-star plays, Zeno? Do you have it up or?
Oh, see, hold on a second. You moved me into the 2 chair, and I was
hold on. You got to be able to stick and move. I mean, listen, the bar goes out. I mean, I
do have it up. I do have a 3-star play up here on the website. It's early, obviously. But I'll give out 2 of them. Our boy Jared Smith is Texas Tech to win on the money line in their game on Thursday. I guess it's already up there. Texas Tech versus Duke coming up. But also on Thursday, Scotty Scheffler, the WGC Dell Technologies match play best bet is a winner. So from Ricky Damone. So those are the 2 plays, but both of those things don't happen until Thursday.
All right, well, give out your best bet then. You ready to give out that, or you need a little? Okay.
No, I am ready to go. And tonight I'm going to back Trey Young in his return to the Garden. We all remember this because it got real quiet in here. The last time Trey Young played at the Garden was supposed to be playing there for the first time on Christmas Day. Didn't play in that game. Knicks end up beating the Hawks in that one, 101-87. Trey gets back to the Garden tonight, is over his 27.5. In his career, he's averaged 27.3 points per game at the Garden. He loves this stage. He loves this moment. Again, with no John Collins, I think Trey will take over tonight. He's going to enjoy hearing all the boos from the New York Knicks fans, and he's going to relish in it. He should go off tonight. I think he gets to at least 30. Backing Trey Young over 27.5 points is my play of the day.
I think he's going to hear more than boos. And he also did remember the bow, too. He also did the bow when the series was over. So, I mean, listen, I think I can't wait for that game. I can't wait. On the other side, I'm looking at Evan Fournier over 3.5 threes at +125 or +130, excuse me. Before we get into that, Zeno, you know me, and when Steven Adams and I were, bumping heads a little bit, what did I do? I just kept going back to the well, right?
Sure.
These threes props, I just can't get there. Luka Doncic last night, I was over 3.5. He went 3 for 11. So naturally, I'm going back to the threes prop again tonight with Evan Fournier, and I like this spot for him. You as a Knicks fan know this. He is 6 threes short of tying John Stark's single season record, right? And single season threes record. Not saying he's going to break that record tonight, but he's knocked down 4 or more threes, or 5 threes, I should say, in back-to-back games, 4 or more threes in 4 straight games. He's just been unapologetically pulling too. I mean, 30 attempts in the last 3 games. This feels like a good spot for him. And I'm not saying he's going to tie the record or break the record tonight, but when you look at the Knicks schedule as well, they have 3 road games after this, right? I would think that there would be that little extra motivation to go for it tonight at the Garden in front of the home crowd. You want to break the record in front of the home crowd, right? So I think that he could be motivated to let it rip tonight. And I need 4 to drop. And at plus money, I like getting a little bit of value there as well with my guy, Evan Fournier. So we'll see.
You love going back to the well, man. You love it.
I'm gonna listen, and guess what? No, I'm not even gonna speak. This is hitting tonight. I gotta hit it
into existence.
I gotta hit a threes prop. I mean, this Hawks defense is also not anything to be feared. Let me check the chat here, see if we got anything. Steven Adams, LOL. Yes.
While you're checking the chat, it was almost my play of the day. It was Vanderbilt and Scottie Pippen Jr. getting 3.5.
That was a question in the chat. What do you think about? So, what do you think about Vanderbilt?
Well, that. I looked very closely at that at Vanderbilt getting 3.5 tonight against Virginia. Lean on the under in that spot too. But it's Scottie Pippen Jr. Man, it's his show. Vanderbilt's been playing well through this tournament and a little bit underrated. I know Virginia's defense is insanely good. It's a low number. I think at 126 is the total in that game. But I like Vanderbilt tonight getting the points.
I like that. All right, let's get out of here. For Zeno, I'm Glaze. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Good luck with your picks tonight.